A lot of men aren't leaving the US to find a wife because they're passport bros. They're leaving because of what they're finding when they get there. Women in other countries were raised completely differently than women in the Western world. Most had mothers and grandmothers who taught them how to cook, how to care for a home, and how to honor a man. Nobody tell them, never trust a man, or nobody taught them to compete with men instead of compliment them. So when a man shows up ready to provide, ready to protect for a foreign woman, a lot of them are very open to receive that. A lot of foreign women actually appreciate it. That's not a low value woman. That's a woman who was never taught to see her femininity as weakness. And look at what that produces. Many other countries that still hold family as the highest value, not career, not independence, not self-love journeys, actually have higher happiness indexes, higher birth rates, and more stable homes. Because when you ingrain in a culture that family is the priority, people actually build families. When you ingrain that career is everything, women delay, they deprioritize, and eventually wonder why they feel so lonely and empty. Meanwhile, American and Western media has spent decades painting men as weak, incompetent, dangerous, and just unnecessary. And then everyone acts shocked when men go somewhere they're actually valued. It was never about the passport. It's about finding a woman who was raised to see a good man as a blessing, not as a threat. And until that changes in the West, men are going to continue looking elsewhere.
Women are reporting unprecedented dissatisfaction with modern dating. Men are reporting record levels of loneliness and relationship difficulties. Marriage rates have fallen dramatically over the past several decades. Meanwhile, we have dating apps that have created more access than any generation in history. Yet, many people describe dating as worse than ever. So if everyone has more options, why is nobody happier?
That's a great question. You have information to share about it?
I do. She shares some theories in her article. Celeste Davis argues that the answer is not dating apps, feminism, social media, or unrealistic standards alone. The deeper shift is this. For most of our history, relationships were built on necessity. Today, they are increasingly built on choice. So the central argument is not that women have become too picky or men have become worse. It is that society underwent a massive structural shift, and relationships are moving from necessity-based arrangements to choice-based partnerships. So when people no longer need each other to survive, they begin asking a different question. Does being with you make my life better than being alone?
Mom.
Yes.
This woman is seriously asking what rights men don't have.
What rights men don't have? What
Yeah.
rights do they have? I mean, really, think about it. When we're baby trapping men into having babies that they don't want, we say, well, it takes two to make a baby. But then when the man moves on and is no longer doing the things that we want, we then say, well, it's my baby. Think about it. Genuinely, men fall behind in education. They're majority to take up the homeless rate, the rate, the addiction rate, the homicide rate, majority to be incarcerated, majority to be victims of crimes, majority to perpetrate crimes. Men are falling behind in every aspect, not to mention they don't even have the space in society to expose their own, to expose the fact that they're struggling mentally. None of that. So I think the better question is what rights are women missing that is somehow justifying us to stop listening to the very real problems that men are going through?
Now, you hear a lot about unrealistic beauty standards, but you don't hear nearly enough about the unrealistic personality standards that women have to live up to.
Bingo.
Every time you turn on the TV, you see women in films reacting stoically, controlling emotions, staying calm in high-pressure situations.
Doing math?
Giving men the false impression that this is somehow what they should be expecting from a woman's personality.
Whether that's Kristen Ritter not wanting to talk about her feelings in Jessica Jones, or Charlize Theron's short, concise, data-driven answers to questions in Mad Max, I don't think these filmmakers realize or care about the harm they are doing by asking women to live up to those unattainable, emotional, and storytelling ideals.
I had a friend come up to me recently complaining that his date took forever to get ready. They missed the previews. Then she started crying as if this is some abnormal event. I had to grab the guy and say, Dave, I don't know what you saw in Girl with a Dragon Tattoo, but this is what a woman looks like without having her personality airbrushed by Hollywood.
That's why I so much appreciate what they are doing on The View.
Yes.
Personality, positivity, showing what a real woman looks like completely unshackled from whether statistics or evidence even remotely lines up with the points they are making.
I want to also applaud the makers of The View for just putting their raw, undesirable personalities out there, flaws and all, so men can see a realistic depiction of what to expect from a woman.
The fastest way to lose a good man isn't cheating. It's becoming his biggest source of stress instead of his peace. Men don't leave because someone prettier comes along. They leave because home becomes harder than the outside world. When a man is dealing with work pressure, financial stress, and the weight of providing, he needs one place where he can breathe. That place should be you. Many women forget this. They compete with their man. Instead of complimenting him, they challenge every decision, question his leadership, and turn conversations into debates. That's not partnership. That's exhausting. A man doesn't need you to be his therapist or his mother. He needs you to be his woman. Soft, where the world is hard. Warm, where everything else is cold. Loyal, when everyone else is conditional. When a woman makes home a place of strength and peace, when she needs him, desires him, and chooses him daily, a man doesn't even see other women, not because he can't, but because nothing outside competes with what he has at home. Loyalty isn't a promise, it's a reality you create. If your man is distant, ask yourself, are you adding to his peace or his problems? Make home his sanctuary, or watch him find peace somewhere.
Here's the thing, when you're dating the right guy, you are both a baddie and a baby. Just a baby. Just a baby. But I'm also a baddie. And when you're dating the right guy, you get to be both. And they like both. Oh my god, it's such a turn on. Like, I just did like this freaking kick-ass kickboxing class this morning and I went hard. Oh, and it was so fun. And I feel like, and he's so proud of me. So proud of me. And then I'm like, I'm hungry. And he's like, let me feed you. Because I'm just a baby. I'm like shopping with my friend yesterday, thrift shopping, and I was like, I had a few things in my cart and I forgot something. He brought me something that I forgot, and then he just hands me money. Here you go for your cute clothes. Because I'm just a baby. But I look baddie in those clothes. And you bet he's going to compliment it. Baddie and a baby. Best combo.
Our mothers looked us in the eyes and said, never depend on a man. And we listened. We got the degrees, we built the businesses, we bought the houses, and we were super successful. We became the women that they wished they could become. But here's what no one prepared us for. Once you become independent, how do you let someone else in? We mastered self-sufficiency, and then a partnership suddenly felt like a huge regression to us. And for me, it was like giving up territory that I had fought so hard for. Meanwhile, the men that we're meeting were raised on a completely different script. Provide or you're worthless, your value is your utility, and you have to be serious and stoic at all times. So now you have this awesome dynamic of women that were taught that they shouldn't need anyone, and men that were taught that their only value is being needed. Two people standing at the opposite ends of a bridge that is broken. Both of them are wondering why connection is impossible. This conversation is not going back to dependence or pretending like we don't have our lives handled, because we do. It's about unlearning what survival mode taught us so we can actually learn what partnership means to us. And it's about learning why two people actually choose each other. It's not because they need to, it's because they want to, and that's the conversation that nobody's having.
The fastest way to lose a good man isn't cheating. It's becoming his biggest source of stress instead of his peace. Men don't leave because someone prettier comes along. They leave because home becomes harder than the outside world. When a man is dealing with work pressure, financial stress, and the way of providing, he needs one place where he can breathe. That place should be you. Many women forget this. They compete with their man instead of complimenting him. They challenge every decision, question his leadership, and turn conversations into debates. That's not partnership. That's exhausting. A man doesn't need you to be his therapist or his mother. He needs you to be his woman. Soft where the world is hard. Warm where everything else is cold. Loyal when everyone else is conditional. When a woman makes home a place of strength and peace, when she needs him, desires him, and chooses him daily. A man doesn't see other women, not because he can't, but because nothing outside competes with what he has at home. Loyalty isn't a promise. It's a reality you create. If your man is distant, ask yourself, are you adding to his peace or his problems? Make home his sanctuary, or watch him find peace somewhere else.
And we talk about and notice that the woman was reading the question, or I guess she was reading an article, and she said that women are more dissatisfied. Men are lonelier. Of course, because women are not lonely, not at all. Definitely not lonelier than men, they're just dissatisfied. I would say that men are probably just as dissatisfied as women with the current landscape of dating. But of course, men are the only ones that are suffering because of their own ignorance and all that other nonsense, when we're sitting up here trying to tell you, hey, maybe, just maybe, modern women have something to correct too. I know we can, well, it's choice based. It's still necessity based. I know you would like to think that, oh, we have a choice in this and that. It's still necessity. Hey, I need to get this. I want this. This is what I'm looking for. They say I'm looking for a man with emotional intelligence and all that. They're not really looking for that. They're looking for a man to pay their bills. They need a man to pay their bills, regardless of how rich they are. A lot of these modern women are trying to work and work and work until they can let it go. Until a man is really their retirement plan. He's really their retirement plan. So I gotta work and work and work until one day he gonna come through. I need a man to come through. Well, I'm just happy. I'm happy just like I am. No, you're not. No, you're not. You can lie to yourself, but you didn't already told us on multiple occasions. I'm tired of working. I can't stand it. I don't know how much longer I can do this. I'm tired of being strong and independent. I need a man.
Seriously need to stop expecting young men to be gentle and chivalrous with women and their emotions if we're not going to at least admit that the reason for that is because women are extra emotional. Treat me different because I'm a girl, but don't acknowledge that as a girl I'm different is insane standard. And so
the list of double standards are racking up, bro. It doesn't make sense how in 2025 this is a hot take. Saying women are more emotional than men is actually really a hot take. A lot of the online women nowadays will pick and choose when they want to be treated equally, rather than being treated equally with everything. There's so many double standards, it's insane. That's why I tell young men all the time, don't take it serious, don't take it to heart. Be a man, do what you gotta do. Could you imagine if everybody in the world was just like, you know what? Forget chivalry, forget changing up when a woman walks in the room. We're gonna act exactly how we always act, regardless of the female in the room. Like if we just treated and talked to women 100% like we talk to the bros, I don't even want to think about it, honestly. It's exactly what he said. You can't say treat me different as a girl, but don't acknowledge that I'm different because I am a girl. It makes no sense.
Oh, that's cute.
This is so cute, and I often get comments from people saying, can I show some of the good relationships? Well, here's one of them. I think the way she looks at him is more telling than him actually bringing the cute little plates, because you can just tell she's just crazy about this man. And I feel like the majority of men want to find a woman like that will look at him like that. Appreciate the little things that he does, because so many women are wrapped up in specific amounts of money or it has to be expensive, but this is simple. She looks like she appreciates it so much. A lot of men love doing little things like this.
Just got my cappuccino. We with Jayla, and y'all, she want to know, actually we want to know, men, where do you guys hang out? Where do you go?
Think about this.
If women who look like this are asking, where are all the men? I must say it must be some sort of coordinated strategy by men to disappear. Now, I don't mean disappear like a magician, like off the planet or just vanish. I mean disappear from where people meet. Don't go to clubs, don't go to bars, don't go to brunches. Just go to places where there's not this sort of social expectation or interaction with women.
And like, don't just say, oh, we go to the gym. We go to the gym too. Where else do you go?
Do y'all like to eat? Because I like to eat.
Right.
Your girl like to eat, and I don't be seeing y'all at the food places that I be at.
Girl, I feel like they
Y'all
don't
not
eat.
like food? They don't like food.
They don't have hobbies. They don't go out and eat. What do you do?
Then you must ask the question, why would men collectively disappear from the dating social settings? And men have disappeared from dating social settings for many reasons, but they all boil down to they just don't see the value in attempting to date right now. Men simply don't value what women are offering to the dating market right now, and that's the reason they've checked out.
Recently, I asked for women, specifically those who say that they despise all men, to explain what the reasoning was behind their hatred. I mainly received 2 responses from that. The first being is that some of those women possibly experienced some type of or trauma from a man or multiple men in their past. But when I pointed out that a person's past traumas are not excuses for current bad behaviors, that did not go over very well. And then there was the second response, was that men commit the majority of crime in this world, and therefore they cannot be trusted. But when I asked, does that excuse stereotyping of certain ethnic groups or religious groups as well? And all there was silence. So I really didn't get a reasonable or rational response to why they hate men. Because remember, there is no reasonable or rational response to hatred, because hatred itself is irrational.
Respectfully, but disrespectfully, you're doing too much for a man who's not even earned your softness. Now, let me explain. Too many of y'all ask me this question over and over again. Okay, he hasn't texted me. What should I do? Okay, he sent me a text that he wants to do a date, but I haven't heard anything, or the date has not been confirmed. And the truth is, I always tell women, especially in the early days of you dating someone, your only job is to show up and be soft. That's it, okay? You shouldn't be doing manual labor with a man early days in to you getting to know him, okay? Because I truly believe that it is the man's job to show up, be consistent, call, text, let you know what's going on with the dates, really put in the effort to chase you. It shouldn't be the other way around. So I feel like too often y'all are just doing backwards flips, trying to figure out what's going on with the man. And when I ask you questions around, okay, what has been happening? How has been the communication? Has he been consistent? Y'all look at me and say, huh? What? And you're confused. And the truth is, I always tell women, when you are confused, it's not it. And the only way you know it's it is when you don't have to call me.
So you approach him with a relationship and you're just like, hey, what are we doing? Are you ever going to make a commitment? And he's like, I can't give you what you need. I can't give you that right now, but I don't want to hold you back. If you need to go out and find somebody for you, I'm cool with that. So you like that. All right, let's cut this off. And then he goes, no. That's not what I wanted. I mean, we could still talk and be cool, right? Sound familiar? Hi, my name is Tasia. I'm a confidence and dating coach, and I teach women how to control their emotions so that their emotions don't control them, okay? I pray that you've been on this page long enough so that you're not thinking like, oh, he's fighting for me. He doesn't want this to end. He really does like me and want to be with me. No, sweetheart. He's trying to see if you're dumb enough to accept the lower wager. He's trying to see if you're dumb enough to accept the lower wager, okay? And the moment that you do, the moment that you continue talking to him and rolling around with him and getting into that man's bed, all right, is the moment that you'll never get a higher wager ever again. So what should you do, you say? I'm glad you asked. You're going to take your stuff, okay? Take it. You're going to pack it up, right? And you're going to take you're going to leave, all right? You're going to lock the door behind you, and you're going to find a man that's going to come to your side of the street. And if you want to know how to get a man on your side of the street, comment join below to join my secret girls chat. Bye now.
We'll be at a function like this. I'm talking about overly loaded, and niggas still won't walk up and talk to nobody. Like, what the f*** you giving me a tripod, y'all? Like, what the f*** you came here for? Just not to talk to nobody?
Yo, I keep seeing this all over TikTok, social media. Women are asking, why don't men approach anymore? You want to know why? Because a lot of us got trained not to. Simple as that. I mean, yeah, back in the day, men would walk up, shoot their shot, take a risk. Cool. But now you approach the wrong one at the wrong time. Now all of a sudden, you weird, you creepy, you doing too much. I'm not talking about dudes being disrespectful. Nah, I'm talking about just saying, hey, how you doing? Now it's, I got a boyfriend. Why are you talking to me? You get posted online like you did something wrong. So after a while, dudes start thinking, why even risk it? Why even put yourself out there to be embarrassed or be labeled as something that you're not? Now, don't get it twisted. There is some weird dudes out there. I get why some women got that guard up, but not every man approaching you is on that type of time. So now we in this weird space where women are like, they want to be approached, and men are like, nah, I'm good. And then everybody's wondering, why don't nobody talk to each other anymore? I'm just saying, it goes both ways.
Men believe that women are secretly competing for their attention. This is a coping mechanism. Male attention is low value and relentless. Before we go out, we talk cues, we talk exits, we plan interruptions. There's a look that women exchange when something feels off. A man could never be privy to this, as he would have to admit that he was an aggressor, that he was unwanted. Even the so-called fridge would want this interaction. It would be unintelligent to assume that she was jealous for intervening on a dangerous situation. This may not be reflected in your Wattpad fantasy, but this is female solidarity.
Women on dating apps, can you explain this to me? I don't get it. When I'm swiping through and I see a picture and there's two girls and one's really attractive and then the other one, and I know if I scroll to the next picture which one you are, what's the strategy? Like, what's this? Am I supposed to be like, oh, thank God you're not the hot one? What? It's like I'm taking crazy pills. I mean, why is that your strategy?
Well, you know, he was talking about, I think it was a guy talking about, what if we treated women exactly how, when they walked in the room, we treated women the exact same way that we treat men? Well, you already know the answer to that. It wouldn't go well. Men talk, they converse in a different way. So it's not going to go well. Women are going to feel like men are disrespecting them. They're going to feel like men don't value them. That's why you see in a lot of these clips, when a man is sitting down, that's what they're doing. When they're sitting down on a train and they don't look up there on their phone, that's what they're doing. They're like, man, I got here first. And you know what? A man wouldn't be upset about it. If he wanted to sit down, he'd scoot in and say, hey, man, you mind if I get right there? Oh, yeah, man, don't worry about it. And he might move a backpack or he might scoot over. Of course, modern women are not going to ask that. They're not going to do that. They're just going to be like, oh, look at these men. They're taking up everything. Well, I was here first. Like I said, if you're one of the bros, they're not going to take offense to it. Because, like, you know, should have gotten here earlier. And even if I didn't, I'm tired, but I can stand. Hey, bro, you want to sit down? No, I'm all right. I appreciate it, man. You sure? Yeah, man, I'm good. That's what you'd hear. But modern women don't want to hear that. They want every advantage and every opportunity given to them. And men have stopped doing that so much. And women are upset about that.
Give me an example of how you're actually currently being oppressed.
Because those systems have been in place so long where women shouldn't have jobs, women shouldn't have financial stability, women shouldn't be in charge of their own finances, a lot of families have come to think that that is the truth. They have come to accept that. And so a lot of families don't prioritize their daughters getting educated or etc.
So what do you have to say then across the nation in the United States, the higher education gap, it's like 60-40, 60% women, and this was the case since 1980. So perhaps historically this might have been the case, but now that the gap exists in the other way, are you prepared to say that there's discrimination and sexism against men given the disparity?
No, I'm not prepared to say that.
But there's a gap that exists.
Yeah, and why is that gap there?
Maybe because women are being presented with more opportunities just because they're women.
Is the female population not higher than the male population?
Perhaps in a very small way, it wouldn't account for such a massive gap in higher education.
It is important to disappoint women because the more a woman likes you, the more that she is interested in you, the more she's going to want more of you. Women don't love like men do. A woman's love is more consumptive. A woman in love wants everything. She wants all of your time, all of your attention. And if she could, she would crawl inside of your head so she could know all your thoughts and feelings. You see this kind of reaction in miniature when women get around babies like, "Ooh, you're so cute, I could just eat you up." Yeah, it's like, In as many different ways as possible, a woman in love wants to put you inside of her. So that's consumptive feminine love.
Women have been convinced, younger women, that they don't need men. And kind of, what's the point? And I can do it all myself, and I don't need a man. And the practicalities of every day, yeah, you can get a job and you can buy a house and you can do a lot of it yourself. But in terms of companionship and a partner and love and support, that's where the thing falls down. And I think what happens is women have been told, you know, girl boss, do it yourself, all that. And then they get to an age and they're like, oh, I actually would quite like a partner and I would like support, and, you know, life can be lonely and I would like children and actually I kind of need a man for that, you know, or I need a partner and I'd like a decent partner, not just any old schlub.
Women are leaving perfectly good men behind for no reason. And this is the reason why. It's because something in them has said, well, I need to feel something all the time. Why do you need to feel something all the time? I'll tell you why. Ready? Here's why. Ready? Swipe, 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 swipe. This is why you need to feel something all the time. What I see, what I witness and intuit from my experience with my 4,500 clients doing this for 18 years as a coach is way closer to women under the age of 30 of the first generation to go through puberty with a cell phone. Swipe, swipe. I need to feel something all the time. He doesn't make me feel something. Swipe, 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 swipe. So you don't feel anything, so swipe him away.
Do you think feminism has made dating better or worse for women?
I think it's made it better for women.
In what ways?
That we realize what our worth is and that we shouldn't just take like the bare minimum as acceptable.
What do you mean by the bare minimum?
Oh, he doesn't cheat on me, or he says, he compliments me sometimes. It's like, oh, okay, I'll stay with him. Well, just because a man's like loyal or says a couple nice things or does a couple nice things for you every once in a while, that doesn't mean that you should expect more. You should be treated well, and I don't know, just get better for yourself.
So before feminism became very popular, women were having like 5+ children per woman, and nowadays in most countries it's at the point where we're all going to go extinct if we keep it this way. How has dating gotten better by that standard?
It's a tough question, but I feel like it would have to go back to women now value more things than starting a family and having a big family. It's definitely a big thing for a lot of people, and most people still want that for themselves, but they value maybe getting a career first and getting on their feet. Another reason why I haven't gotten married yet is I don't have a good career yet. I haven't finished college.
What the f is wrong with the men here? Why do they have no desire? Why do they not know how to appreciate a good-looking woman?
Serious question for my mans out there. Why are you guys not approaching women? What is that about? What is that about? I have seen so many hot guys lately, and we make eyes, we exchange the look, we have the look, and then there's nothing else. I'm like, Are you gonna come approach me?
Guys not making a move anymore is so frustrating because
so every morning on my run, I pass the same guy. He's out walking his dog. Sometimes he's with his young son. Sometimes he's not. But every morning, I say, good morning. Hey, man, what's going on? And every morning, he ignores me. This morning, flat out ignores me. This morning, I guess I passed by his house. He's coming out of his front walk. I'm passing by. We're closer than we've ever been, like 5-6 feet apart. And I say, hey, man, good morning. Doesn't look at me, totally ignores me.
Obviously, as a woman would like the men to approach me, but nowadays it hasn't been happening. Feels like the roles have been switched. Men are expecting women to approach them and be the first one to make the move.
Last year, I saw some
Bro, what?
Black women try to solve a problem in dating.
Is that really happening though? Is that really happening?
By starting to host events in person, trying to create third spaces to facilitate dating like offline. And you know what would happen every single time?
There are only 3 kinds of beings in this world that get loved automatically, and that's women, kids, and little puppies. Men, they do not get that luxury. Men are not loved unconditionally. They have to earn it, and let's be honest, that is not fair. From the moment a boy grows up, the message is clear. Your value is in what you provide. Your worth is in what you achieve. Your love is conditional. A man can be loyal, faithful, and good-hearted, but if he loses his job, if he can't provide, if he struggles, watch how quickly that so-called love disappears. Meanwhile, women, they're loved simply for existing. Kids, automatic love. Puppies, automatic love. But men, the very ones who build societies, who break their backs to provide, who carry the weight and responsibility, they are told that love has to be earned. That's not equality. That is not fair. Men get judged by their paychecks, their muscles, their status, their ability to produce and protect. And if they can't measure up, they're disposable. That's the harsh truth that nobody wants to admit. And here's the kicker. Women expect men to show up strong, stoic, protective, ambitious, but then in the same breath, talk about how love should be unconditional. No, not for men, not in this reality that we live in. It is not fair that men have to constantly prove their worth just to be worthy of love. And until we start acknowledging that, men will keep suffering in silence, carrying a burden nobody gives them credit for. So let me say it straight. Men deserve better. Men deserve to be loved, not just for what they do, but for who they are as a man.
So 34, single, and I'm currently stuck between wanting to get married and have 25 kids, live happily ever after, and on the other hand, never going on a date with anybody ever again. Anybody else feel the same? I'm guessing you do, because my last video about this suggested a lot of people resonated. But my question is this: I find the whole dating apps and the whole online dating space very superficial. You know, when you look at the apps, it's all pictures of people with loads of filters, and it's the best picture they can possibly show you. And whether we like it or not, you do make a decision based on visuals and things like what height is the person and all that kind of stuff. And actually, at this stage in my life, yeah, I want to be physically attracted to the woman, but at the same time, I'm like, I want people with really good values, that are a good vibe, good energy, that are ambitious, that have got a similar vision to me. And I'm just asking, really, in this video, where do we go to meet those people in a non-weird, forced way, in a real world setting, not an online app? Because people say, oh, go to health places like the gym. Well, all I see on TikTok is videos where women are saying if a man comes up to them in the gym, it's creepy or it's annoying because that's their space when they're on their own and they don't want to be approached in the gym. So I can't talk to a woman in the gym, apparently. I'm not allowed. Don't really think I'm going to meet the love of my life in a nightclub at 3 a.m. where you can barely even remember your name. So do these places exist? These real life places where people get together and the people who are there because they value more than just looks and all that kind of stuff? I don't know. I'm just wondering. I'm just hoping the internet will do its thing and help me find the right people who can point me in the right direction. Is that you? If so, let me know below. If not, if you're on the same mission, let me know as well. Maybe we could figure it out together.
I think it's so interesting seeing all my friends, people online talking about how they're like, oh yeah, me and my girlfriends went out to the bars the other night. There were just no suitable men. There are no like attractive men there. Everyone's just like, where are all the good men? Where are all the hot men, the good men? As much as some of us hate it and we love hating on dating apps, I think sometimes we need to go on Hinge, we need to go on Cuff, because sometimes like these men, they're not out. They're just simply not out because they're the good ones that stay in and then like work out and run the next day. Or they're just like not at the clubs like every weekend. So it's good to go on the apps to meet people that you probably wouldn't normally meet out.
We're taking this in a direction where we're just being too mean to the men. We need to stop laughing, guys. It's not funny. We need to. I'm sorry. This is a serious matter. Let's incorporate some sensitivity as we discuss male loneliness, because it is a crisis. The men are lonely because they've all the women. Like, of course you'll be lonely. There's like 5 women left. You guys won't leave us alone.
And you listen to some of these podcasts where men and women are going back and forth. Modern women are not going to give up any ground. So you can forget that. They're not going to give up any ground at all. Even when it makes sense, even when it's something that both parties can agree on, they're not going to give up any ground. It's always the man's fault. Man is always wrong. He's somehow, some way, even though he's not around me, he's done something to harm me. He left like a little booby trap somewhere, and I'm worse off for it. Man don't even know me. Man has never been in my vicinity, but somehow this man somewhere is trying to hold me back.
Women are not looking for leaders. I don't really believe in this.
Don't say that.
Women of today really don't like the word submission. It sounds good for them to be able to post about it, but is it actually something that they really want? Do you really want men to lead, or do you just want men to be in a position to provide? And that's what I see. I see so many women today. It's like, yeah, I want you to provide the leading part. I don't need you to lead me. I'm a grown woman because this is mine. This is my furniture, my thing.
They don't sound like they need to be in a relationship.
But that's the population.
Why would you want a man in your life if he's not leading?
The things that I see is like people don't. Women are not looking for leaders. I don't really believe in this.
Don't say that. You're generalizing.
Majority, because I don't want y'all coming for me.
Thank you, because I'm about to come for you.
Majority do not want to see leaders, because when you use the word leadership, it makes it seem like you are weak because now you're having to submit. And the women of today really don't like the word submission.
The women of today.
And I'm saying that some women of today do not like the word submission, because submission does not mean that you're following weakly. It just means that you're surrendering to the moment that you married or the moment that you came into the relationship with to say, I want you to lead. It's okay to lead as long as the bill's been paid, as I keep going back to that. But when it comes leading to saying, hey, this is not working. Can we look at our budget again? Can we be entrepreneurs? Can we rebuild this? Can we go back and scratch it? No, that's not going to work. Those are things that has to be brought back to the table. And that's where the man needs to come in the forefront.
So let me ask you a question, hypothetically speaking.
So women don't need men, apparently. Yep, you heard me right. At least this is what socialist media is telling them day in and day out, with all the videos, with all the trends, with all the viral everything. Women, you don't need men. You don't need a man unless he is exactly what you want. Unless he is exactly what you want on paper, perfect in every way. So if he doesn't have a trust fund, no, we don't need him. If he's only got a 4-pack, not a 6-pack, if he's got too many dogs, if he's not got any dogs, if he still lives with his mum, if he doesn't own his own place, if he can't afford to take you to a 5-star restaurant, if he's been divorced before, if he's got kids, if he hasn't got kids, if that man is not perfect on paper, girl, you don't need him. What the hell? Why is social media telling women this? Like, why can't just social media be telling women, go out there, find a nice guy who's got faults, like everybody's got faults, and be happy? Like, why does it have to be perfect for women, whereas men have to kind of, just put up with whatever they can get, apparently, in this world? But yeah, please let me know. Why is social media doing this? Do you think it's social media to blame? Do you think it's someone else? No sundress today, I'm afraid. Today I'm in gym wear, and have a great day.
I know how women are entitled. I know how women only want a man as good as his wallet is. I know that a woman will be like, I'm 5'1", but I need a man that's 6 feet. What?
Sarah, you're like 5'5" and 3/4.
Yeah.
And Brock is almost 6'8".
Yeah.
What are you saying to me? You just said in a previous podcast that if he was shorter, I don't think you think you would have did it. So
I said that?
Yes.
I could do flat-footed my height. I would have done that. I would have.
So you could date somebody your height?
Yeah. Even if I put a heel on and I'm taller, I'm okay with that. But 6 inches shorter than me, 4'11" and change is crazy. Now, if I was 6 feet tall and he was 6 inches shorter than me, I might be open to that.
Really?
If I was 6'5" and he was 6 inches shorter than me, I'd probably be open to that. But like Come on now. I'm not even 5'7". No, I'm not hating on a short king. Look at Kevin Hart. He's 5'4".
That's crazy.
Would you say I wouldn't date Kevin Hart? Or would you put on your tallest heel and strut like a goddess? Yes, strut like a goddess. This is what I'm saying. If you're 5 foot, he's still taller than you in a heel. I'm tall and long for a woman.
I'll give you that.
So for me, I feel like so many women put things on what doesn't even matter. You want this man to make 6 figures and be tall and have a 6-pack, be great in bed. But the question is, how is he as a human? Does he respect you? Does he have good communication? Is he emotionally intelligent? Does he actually love you?
I don't know, Sarah.
Thoughtful?
A lot of women will be willing to be disrespected to get that bag, and we know this.
And that is why we are where we're at. End of story.
So all the men from my previous post saying that they have found peace by being alone and they're not trying to date because they just want peace. Are you trying to say that we don't bring peace to your life?
Oh, they didn't try to say anything. They flat out said that they'd rather be by themselves and peaceful than to be with some of the women that are available out there.
I have to disagree.
Of course there would be some women that have to disagree with that statement because they simply cannot bring themselves to believe that many men, especially after seeing what's out there in the dating market, would rather be single, and they're actually happier being so.
I do not think that if a woman that you so desired was available to you, you would choose peace over commitment, good meals with conversation, and things like that. So I'm gonna call your bluff.
Some women simply don't get it, because none of those things that were listed are actually what brings a man peace in a relationship. And if we're being really honest with ourselves, most men can get all of those perks of being in a relationship without actually being in one. So quite frankly, ladies, some of you are going to have to start accepting that men can be happy by themselves. I know that comes as a surprise.
Ladies, just because a man tells you you cannot come to his house does not mean he has a wife, does not mean he has a girlfriend. It just means that he values his peace and his safety over your cunt. You women tell men the exact same thing for whatever your reason is. You don't want men to come to your house. That's fine. But when a man tells you no, it means automatically he has a woman or a girlfriend. But men don't say, hey, you must have a man and you must have a husband because you won't let a man come over to your house. But some of you, your ego is so high that you think that all men are just supposed to say yes. Listen, most men will say yes that actually have a house. Most men will say yes, and they will be so excited to have you walk through the door because they know if you as a woman are going to come to their house, you're probably going to smash. However, some men out here, some high-level men, value their peace and their safety and their reputation in their community and are not willing to risk whoever you are to come to their home until they get to know you far more. Now, are there some men that probably have a woman at home? Absolutely. Some of them probably do. But there are some that don't. And I would highly encourage most of you men out here to just not any woman, don't let just any woman into your house because some of these are crazy as
This is why you have to dog women out when you first start talking to them. When you give a woman everything, she'll leave you with nothing. My brother, welcome back to the streets. And it's a ruthless, ruthless environment. I'm gonna tell you that right now. These women, you don't bring flowers on the first date. It's a waste of time. When you're a true gentleman to a woman, she's gonna sabotage it. You're literally too good for her. So although you might be frustrated, she did you a huge favor. She knew that she was gonna waste your time. And that's just the reality of a lot of high value men in this dating market. These women aren't worth your time, your resources, or your loving gestures. So stop even trying to give it to them. Everything you see online when women say, I want to be treated right, this is what happens when you treat them right. This is what happens. So many good men literally turn evil because of situations like this. And girls wonder, why don't men respect women? Why do guys act like dogs? Because the moment you do the right thing by a woman, I'm telling you, you're going to sit there and regret it. You're going to wish you was the worst version of yourself. This literally brings out the worst version of so many men. But you just have to realize and learn these women are not worth the effort. They're not like our mothers and grandmothers. All these loving things that we grew up seeing in TV and movies, it doesn't work with these type of women. They're toxic, brother. They say they want all these loving things and they go back and they do this. And then yet the same type of woman will still post on her social media story, oh, I want a man to treat me like this, treat me like that. The moment you treat them well, it ends poorly. Every single time. So my brother, just get back out here, do your thing. Don't worry about these women, bro. I'm telling you, put them through the ringer, every single one. Let this be a learning moment moving forward. She needs to earn those gestures. We don't need to give them anything up front. It's trust fund baddies only, pour no more.
One of the most common conversations I have with 40-year-old men and 50-year-old men behind closed doors is, if I'm not my answers, what am I? And the hardest thing to reconcile is, wired into your nervous system is, men are only as valuable as the crap they can do. And I reject that wholeheartedly because it's a generation of men. Is there a set of skills that a man needs to learn? 1,000%. No question about it. And does a man have more value than just the tasks he can check off a list? Yes.
So they took courage, loyalty, strength, traits men have had for thousands of years, and called it toxic. 55% of Americans now think traditional masculinity is harmful. 70% of men feel judged for just being men. A gym teacher got reported for telling a kid to toughen up after dodgeball. We're not fixing masculinity, we're erasing it. And then wondering why boys don't know who they're supposed to be.
And you know, when you look at or you listen to what women say, it's like, I don't need a man. And how society and some influencers have tried to influence and have, in some instances, successfully influenced them in thinking that they don't need a man. Once again, I don't really need one. And they put it out of their brain. Modern women are not good at thinking long term. They might be good at thinking in the moment, but not long term. Maybe around business and stuff like that, but as far as relationships go, they're not good at it. They think for some reason, it's always going to be this way. I'm going to have, because they start getting a little bit older. And then they say, well, I still have like a few options. There's one guy that, man, this guy has been bothering me for 5 years now. If I'm 25 and he's been let's say I'm 27. He's been bothering me for 5 years. He started, kind of trying to get at, and the man's probably not been bothering her like that, but he does come around every so often. And she's like, oh, okay, well, he's there. And she's had time to observe him, but I'm not really looking for that right now. Kind of sort of wanting to, even if she's not out in the street, I'm kind of wanting to explore many different facets, many different areas of life, which you can do, but you have to understand that the man that you think that's going to be there all the time, that man might move on. And now you're like, okay, well, I got maybe one. And then you have to try to make it work with that person. And it just doesn't. And now you're sitting in your room crying to your friends like, he was my one shot. No, actually, he wasn't. He wasn't your one shot. You had plenty of shots, you just didn't take them. You had plenty of potential men that wanted you. You just didn't really pay him any mind. Number one. Number two, even now, you might be 35. You still have some men that want you. Definitely. You might be a single mother. You might have 2 or 3 kids. And you still going to have a man that wants you. And I'm talking about a man that wants to marry you. It's like, yeah, man, I'll be a stepdad. I don't mind that. But for some reason, y'all cancel them men out. Oh, no, one woman talked about, I know I have kids, but I should be free to not want to date a man with kids. Huh? Y'all are looking for companionship, and then you even the men that are still trying to go, you might even have, I've seen it to where women have had multiple bodies, like a diabolical level of bodies. And then the man says, yeah, man, I'm good with that. That man might not have that many bodies. They say, yeah, man, I'm good with that. I just think she's a beautiful person inside and out. That don't got nothing to do with me, man. She's been great to me. The family likes him. And instead of saying, you know what? Time for me to hang up my jersey. It's time for me to get about these streets. I done found somebody at 35, don't care whether I have 100 bodies and 3 kids. He say, it don't matter. It's all under the blood. It's all under the blood. All my sins have been washed away. But you know what? God got something more for me. I ain't gonna settle. I can't settle. I know you're good, but I know there's a man out there. My God wants me to have more than enough. Pressed down, shaken together, abundant, living in the overflow. You heard the wrong voice. That's the devil talking to you. You're about to ruin your life.